Hey friends, welcome back to Two Bears Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Paul, the other bear, he's Rob. You won't see him tonight, but you will see him from time to time in some videos. And we are the Two Bears, so hopefully you will like what you see. Stick around, check us out, and hit that like and subscribe button. Can't talk tonight. So tonight I'm doing something, or today, excuse me, I'm doing something that may be considered rebel canning. I don't think it is, but it could be to you, so I wanted to kind of put that right at the front of the video that this may be considered rebel canning, and that is I made a chicken soup base. What I mean by that is I made a chicken soup from carcasses, like I made the chicken broth, you know, with the vegetables and all that fun stuff, strained that out to a clear clarified liquid, and I used that to make my chicken soup base with a raw packed vegetables to come up with this. And all this is the vegetables and the chicken soup liquid. That's it. So it could be considered rebel canning, and the reason being is I could not really find a recipe for this, and I went through every approved, you name it, I just could not find one. So what I had to do was kind of search different approved recipes for things that kind of were the same process as to what I'm doing. And mainly my concern wasn't the carrots or the celery. My concern was in the, not even the potatoes for that matter. I know that you can do the potatoes, but it was the onions, because the onions themselves in like onion preservation, you know, you're supposed to like cook down the onions a little bit. And I knew there's a way to do it, because we can raw pack onions when we're making like beef soup and beef stew, like jars of stew. And so, but the rationale behind that is also we're raw packing that with meat, so that's a 75 or a 90-minute time. So the meat has been eliminated from this process. So I needed to find out if I can actually do it, and the answer is yes, I can. I found several recipes, and one of them is in this book, and it was for the Mediterranean potatoes. Now I'm not going through that recipe, but it was the potatoes and the onions, and it was pressure cooked, raw pack, pressure cooked for 40 minutes. So I already know that the potatoes can be processed at the 40 minutes. So the onions themselves also at the 40 minutes. So I'm comfortable with this process, because carrots are, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just going to look down at the book, quarts of carrots are 30 minutes. So I'm already within the window of acceptability for this process. And the other reason I'm okay with it is because I process it when I filled the jar with the vegetables, which I'll go over in a minute. It only came up to about here. So I had this much liquid. So the vegetables are, loose inside the jar. So I was not worried about heat transfer, and I was confident that I was going to get good heat transfer. And just so you understand heat transfer, you need liquid for heat transfer. Air is a poor conductor of heat. Liquid, specifically water, is the best conductor of heat. So that's just, my confidence level in that, and understanding the science behind the canning, and also understanding that I need to make sure that it's up to over 240 degrees, because that's safe canning. So I'm good. I'm confident with this. You may think it's rebel, but I'm okay with it. So what I did was, like I said, I scoured all the recipes and I got my comfort level down. But some of the tricks I know is uniformity. So when I cut all the vegetables, I have my 4 vegetables, and I put them through a chopper instead of doing it by hand. So all the pieces were the same size. So the carrots, the potatoes, they were all the same size. They were uniform. And in each jar, I put in a 1/4 cup of the celery, and then 1/2 cup of the carrots, 1/2 cup of potatoes, 1/2 cup of the onions, and that's pretty much it. And then each jar also got about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I use Redmond's real salt. Each jar got 1/2 teaspoon of the salt. And then what I did was I took my dried herbs from my garden, and I have the rosemary and a little bit of the oregano, and I just ground them up in my mortar and pestle, and then I just put a pinch in each jar. I think that would probably be about an eighth of a teaspoon or so. I wasn't really measuring, I was just going for a pinch, and that's it. All I put in the jars was literally just the vegetables, and then the salt, and then a little bit of herb, and the broth was already seasoned, so I just wanted to kick it up a notch. And then fill each jar up to literally just fill each jar to the 1-inch headspace. So the vegetables over here, so I wasn't worried about headspace on the vegetable, and then fill up the liquid and we're good to go. And then I just cleaned the rims up, sealed, put the rings on, and in the canner they went, and I put them in for a 40-minute pressure cook or pressure can and 40 minutes for me because I'm at sea level. I'm in Florida. I'm practically under sea level here, but it's 40 minutes at sea level. I put my timer for 41 minutes because that's just what I do, and that's it. It was pretty easy, pretty straightforward, no muss, no fuss. Now, but why did I do this? Why did I want to have this in the pantry? And the reason being is, like I think I mentioned it earlier, I'm not sure because I kind of talked too fast, is we're busy. We're both busy. It's, real estate is extremely busy right now for me. I'm, making content. And I also am a caregiver for my father, so my life is still very, very busy. And I wanted to be able to just open the pantry doors, walk in, stand there for a minute, pick whatever is going to be on the shelf off and throw together dinner. And I had that ability to do that. Now Rob, on the other hand, goes into like paralysis. He stands there, he just can't do it. He doesn't have that gift of, pulling stuff off the pantry shelf and calling it a dinner. So, but not everybody does that. Not everybody can do that, so Rob has gifts in other areas. So, I don't know what else to say, but what can I do with this? So I can take this. If I could get if we're in a pinch and we're just stopping at the supermarket, maybe we get one of those store-bought cooked chickens, from Sam's or BJ's or Publix, whatever. And I can take those chicken, pick the meat off, throw it in a pot with one of this, and I have actual chicken soup. So, yeah, you might say that defeats the purpose a little bit, but, sometimes that's like, convenience food. And the other thing is I can take a can of chicken off the shelf. I have canned chicken, and I can just, pop a jar of that off, strain the liquid off, throw that in with this, and I have chicken soup. So it's not always, I do have chicken soup on the shelf, but sometimes I maybe want to do something different. I can use this in casseroles. I can use this to make rice pilaf. I can, there's just different things you can do. I can thicken it and throw together a stew. I can put a couple of these and, have chicken and dumplings, and then, add a jar of chicken to it. So there's just so much you can do, and I wanted that versatility on the pantry shelf. So I got myself, what looks like to be, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 jars. So I'm pretty good with it. And I think it's prudent to have that versatility in your pantry. And also, you can't buy this. You can't buy this in the stores, so it gives you that leg up on your cooking and culinary skills, if you will. But from a homesteading perspective, it's just good sense to have some diversity in the jarred food that we have. So that's kind of it. So I'm going to put the recipe below in the description. Again, I want to still say it again that this could be considered a rebel canning, but I'm okay with it. It's not rebel to me. It's my kitchen. I'm okay with it. So you can make your own decisions if you want to do it. Definitely research it. That's really all I have for you. So hopefully this will inspire you to, understand the canning process and then make decisions that are within the bounds of what's acceptable. You can do that as long as you understand what you're doing. What's not acceptable in the canning world is really going off the beaten path and thinking you can water bath can this. That is something you cannot do. There will be people that may even jump on here and comment and say, yeah, you can. You could do it for 3 hours, and the Amish did it, and the dead ancestors did it. And no, you literally cannot water bath this product. It will be inherently unsafe, and it's not worth it. It's just not. So, and really, water bath is 212 degrees at sea level, and nowhere on Earth does it get any hotter than that. You need 240 degrees for this to be considered a safe food. And actually, it's more than 240 degrees. It's like 241 plus, but the canning does that. That's what it's approved for. So that's it. Now I'm rambling, and now I'm kind of getting on a soapbox a little bit. But I really do hope you check it out, and and make the decision for yourself. And if you have any comments, I would love to have the conversation with you in the comments. Please keep it respectful. And that's it. So we will see you on the next one, and maybe it won't be such a rebel thing. Talk to you soon.